Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Riktor support deck and guide. I am Sylphin, and if you want to take a look at this deck more in depth, go to the end of the video. That's where we will look at it there. So ladies and gentlemen, the very first card you get, it's Font of Experience. Maybe it wasn't the smartest option here with a Twin Blast and a Wraith. Could have gotten 2 potions and a ward. That probably would have been best, to be honest with you. But Font of Experience, I want to get these hero levels, and that's exactly what it gives me. Grant 4 experience every 10 seconds. I want that so I can level up and get my silence, so that when I hook in the 2 carries, essentially what they have here, I will be able to silence them so that they can't run away or back me up or other things like that from this raid. So that's exactly what we're going to do. The first ability you get is Whiplash, and that is your hook. And that's exactly what we're going to want to do. And oh boy, that almost landed on him. We're going to get Healing Towers Gem right off the bat, just due to that mana regen and health regen, which is super important. The Whiplash, your right click is the... Oh, you lucky son of a gun. And that is what you go for. It's a long-range hook that is instant cast, but you can't hold down the ability to see how far it goes. And it goes pretty darn far. It really does. It really does go pretty darn far. The second ability we get is your Q, and that is Shock Therapy. It silences the enemy and prevents him from doing other things like that. I'm going to hook him in. That's going to be one good kill right like that on that Twin Blast. As you can see here, I'm going to try to... Okay, he's going to back me up to safety. Thank you very much. And that is what Riktor provides. He's a high skill cap hero that, you know, can do a tremendous amount of work if he can land. If he can land this stuff, he does a incredible amount of work. Now, with the follow-up from your Whiplash, you use that Shock Therapy that silences them, prevents them from using any abilities like the Twin Blast Dash to get away, and it slows them for 24% movement speed slow for 2.5 seconds. So it's significant in what it can do. Silence for 2.5 seconds, especially on this Wraith, where his back it up or his ult, it's going to be really, really powerful. What I want to do is save some money here for some gold and some just so I can get the wards, which we're going to get Lamplighter, so we can place out on the map, giving us vision, and some potions, so that I can get some health back and some mana back, so I can be a little bit more aggressive. And let's try it. Oh, so close, so very close. And that is a really nice thing about Wraith. If he backs you up when you go to engage, you just get placed back to a safe location. Always make sure that you just kind of start from a safe place, run forward, and you are good here. I'm going to get Auto Health Potion for even more sustain. As you can kind of tell, that is the name of the game here. Oh, it's right, so close. You can actually, to be honest with you, you can go over the heads of minions with your pull, get somebody and pull them through the minions. You can. It's pretty darn tricky to do, but that is a-okay. So we're gonna get Armored Footman here. I kind of want the Rejuvenator, but Armored Footman hopefully is enough sustain here that I want. So why Lamplighter? It's wards. You need wards as a support. 100% get them no matter what. The last ability is Electrocute, and it's not necessarily the best, to be honest with you, because there's kind of not really much. I'm going to put down a ward here. Oh, so close! Oh, but there he is. Oh, my goodness. If I had landed that hook, he would be dead, and that's Riktor. He rewards very high skill play, and, you know, if you can hit it, fantastic. If you can't, it's tough with Riktor. Now we get our ultimate after our Electrocute, which is basically just an AoE aura around us. Doesn't necessarily do too much, to be honest with you. it does help with damage, especially after you hook somebody in. Use that electrocute into your skewer so that, or into your shock therapy, just so that you can get some more damage. But our skewer is our ultimate. It's an AoE wedge in front of us. 211 ability damage, 50% at the start, and 50% at the end. So it's kind of like a 1.5 second sort of thing, and it is quite effective. So I'm gonna wait. There's the back it up. Now we go, baby. He doesn't have the back it up, so we're gonna go. And there we go. There's a silence. We're gonna use our ultimate, and just like that, we got ourselves a kill. We should have a back it up. Back it up. No. Oh, yeah. We don't have a twin. We don't have a wraith. That is how ubiquitous, wraith is in the whoa retreat. Oh, but he has his ultimate. Oh boy. No, we're gonna have to be very safe here. If he chooses to come, I can pull him into the tower, but no. Okay, so there you go. I'm gonna have to go back here and get a card. Now, what card do you go for as a support? You have to go for Protective Sentry, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put down I'm going to put some into Vitality, and we're going to go for the Protective Sentry, which is basically, it gives us Lamplighter all the time. Every 65 seconds we can put down a Shadow Ward, but it only costs mana, and it gives nearby heroes, nearby allied heroes, basic armor. So it's a protective ward. It's a protective ward. It really is quite fabulous. So really important that you get that, keep it, but as I'm sure I'll say multiple times throughout the video, don't hesitate to use your that Protective Sentry, the attribute points in it, to transition into other cards. Lamplighter is a consumable. It's only 300 gold, so pick up other cards along the way. Just get Lamplighter instead. Another card you can get is Rejuvenator, the potions I was talking about. Increases, gives you 16 health regen, 13 mana regen for 10 seconds, and there's 2 charges. It's pretty darn awesome, especially in the very, very early game. It can work really quite well. At this point, it'll definitely help, but, you know, it just helps with that sustain, which is definitely what we need here. I'm going to try to... There we go. Silence him. This should be definitely a kill. I'm gonna use my ultimate to stun him in place. And there is the solid kill. When you are upgrading your abilities, I would 100% focus on your Q, your shock therapy, and then go for your Riplash. Your Electrocute surprisingly does actually not that bad of damage, to be honest with you. So I'm going to silence, and he's silent. There is the good kill there. And oh, there is the Zinx to secure that kill. Unfortunately, the Twin Blast might be getting away here. Let's see if he does. No, he's definitely not going to get away. So good, Fangtooth. We can get Fangtooth now. Fantastically done from the entire team, and we're rotating. Fantastic. Great job by the friendly team there. That is what Riktor's all about, disrupting the enemy and initiating. I mean, really, the initiation, you cannot underestimate what that can do. That hook, obviously, I don't really need to tell you how awesome that is. So, have to land those hooks. Landing those hooks is a prerequisite to playing Riktor. If you can't land those hooks, well, practice, but I mean, it's a really crucial thing behind Riktor. And my only advice would be lead the targets. You have to fake them out into juking or doing their own thing, and then get that hook. Lead your targets. Get a sense of what people do and how people react to to playing against a Riktor. In this scenario, don't hesitate to get out Protective Sentry for something like Malik's Grace, which is fantastic. I didn't even use Rejuvenator here that entire time, so I'm kind of thinking of maybe going for something else like Armored Footman instead of Font of Experience, but it is only Armored Footman. I'm going to keep a Font of Experience a little bit longer so we can get some more value out of it. In this engagement, remember, we're going to try to deal damage onto this Rick. We're going to get a 2-person stun, but unfortunately, I think the Twin Blast, oh, he died. That's unfortunate. I couldn't get here in time. It's too aggressive. The shield link may have been actually something I should have just focused on. What Malik's Grace does is target a allied hero, and you and your target gain 25% of your max health as a shield. So as a Riktor here who's incredibly tanky, this works really well. 500 point shield. I should have used that on the Twin Blast there. Be a better support, and unfortunately, oh good, the Kalari does confirm the kill. Well done. You're a support, guys. Remember, use those support abilities in a support role. Enable your carry to deal that damage, and you'll be solid. We're going to have a pretty sick fight here, so I'm going to make sure that I orient my... Am I going to get him? No, I'm not going to get him. Or I'm actually going to orient my cards this way, because I like my 3 here to be my active that I really care about. Oh, that was so close! Oh my goodness, that is so close. We have Sorvak Initiate here on the Zinx. She wasted it on me. We do confirm the kill, so let's see if we can go and save our team. Oh boy, shield, shield, shield. There we go. We're gonna do this here. Get 2-person stun. Only 1-person stun, unfortunately. Oh, but we are so dead. Yeah, so we are so dead, unfortunately. Team was all over the place with that one. I was out of position. The Zinx did a great job of zoning me away, so I really couldn't be much of use there. If I had gotten that Zinx in that ultimate, I think that would have been a lot different. And the card that we're really going for here is area defense, passive, active, and that is from on Yomi Guardian. Pardon me. It's phenomenal. It is a phenomenal card. Power, max health, and basic armor. You are actually quite an aggressive support. You obviously deal a good amount of damage, as you've seen. All of your abilities deal damage, and you're kind of a very aggressive support. So that power does go a long way on somebody like Riktor, but the more important part is that it reduces all basic damage taken by you and your team here by 100 per attack. So like carry's damage is severely reduced. A lot of casters sometimes not even going to do very much at anything almost. So I mean, really, it is quite remarkable how little people do in the damage department. So now we're gonna definitely attack Orb Prime, as now we've secured a whole bunch of kills here. Holy cow! Attack Orb Prime. We definitely have the advantage now. Holy smokes! That is quite remarkable. As Twin come, Kalari come. We definitely have this advantage here. Now, the Protective Sentry is amazing in reducing that, in giving us that basic armor, which is applied from the Prime's basic attack. So another great use of armored Shadow Ward, plus obviously area defense on Yomi Guardian. Like, kind of the next card that you kind of want to go for here is, again, getting rid of your Protective Sentry in transitioning into something like Malik's Grace. Just a whole bunch of Vitality tankiness so that you can disrupt enemy projectiles, enemy abilities, and tank that for your team instead of, you know, letting that damage go to the rest of your team. That is kind of what you are doing here. I don't want them to get my backline, though. Holy jeez. Let's secure that kill there. And, oh boy, I'm taking a lot of damage here from the Ooh, it looks like the Zinx is going to kill me with the Sorvik Initiate. Not if I run away, and we are good. Indeed. So there we go. We pretty much could just end the game here, and I think that's hopefully what we are going to do. Again, go into damage return, and then, oops, we can go into there. So there is the game. Well done here by our friendly team. And that's Riktor, guys. He's not necessarily a support anymore, but he definitely can work. You just have to go dive in on the duo, land your hooks. You have to land your hook, and if the Wraith backs you up, which is very prevalent, you're in a safe space. There you go. Let's take a look at the deck. Here is the deck, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Lamplighter and Rejuvenator, actually probably the two cards to start off the game with, more than Font of Experience on Riktor. Yes, his abilities are great, and his ultimate is fantastic. Just that sustain through Rejuvenator and those wards, probably more valuable, more supportive for your team, and that sustain as well. Get an Armored Footman eventually after getting maybe Font of Experience, plus those gems that are all good. Save the Onslaught gem here that reduces your cooldowns by 0.2 seconds when you land a basic attack, enabling him to use all of his very important abilities much more often. Save your Onslaught gem for when you reach hero level 5 and you unlock your ultimate. You don't necessarily need it before then. Radiant Healer is an option if for a ton of poke damage in that duo lane. Could have gotten it here, but it worked out in the end. Brilliant Fortification is fantastic if they have a split pushing, hero that's just constantly forcing down your towers. You can get this and make towers immune. All of your ally structures immune to damage for 7 seconds. It saved so many games for me. It is situational, pick it up when needed. Protective Sentry, mandatory card to get so you can place down those Shadow Wards every 65 seconds for some mana and grant 12 basic armor to nearby allies is very important. It has swung a lot of engagements for me personally. Don't hesitate to transition out of Protective Sentry and just pick up your a Lamplighter if you're going for something like Malik's Grace. Great transition into that, etc. Arcane Dancer is another great transition card into Yomi Guardian. It gives you power, max health, and ability damage mitigation as an active. Very, very powerful if you're trying to curve into something like Yomi Guardian. I would rather probably just keep Malik's Grace, but there is quite a delta between Malik's Grace and Yomi Guardian, so it is a option. Malik's Grace, obviously targeting yourself and a nearby ally for 25% of your max health as a shield is monstrous on Riktor because he is so tanky. He gets so much health normally. It is very, very powerful to save your allies. Malik's Tribute is an option. You can actually go into this before going into Yomi Guardian or going that deep into Vitality. It does grant you a shield for any healing above max health. Your normal regen does add into this, so you can actually have a shield walking into a lot of engagements, which is, it's more of a mind game for the enemy team, but obviously adds 15%. Basically more health, which is fantastic. Yomi Guardian annihilates the enemy carry's damage, basically reducing it to next to nothing. Wukongs really are hurt by Yomi Guardian. Very strong, is a card that you want. Song of the Sentinel is a optional late game card to just give nearby allies 22 attack speed and 18 basic armor. This would be fantastic on Riktor. Just very, very, very late game cards. Final deck, obviously Yomi Guardian, maybe a Arcane Dancer and a Song of the Sentinel would be your last three. And then you can kind of get Protective Sentry in and out with some Lamplighters in there. Final endgame deck, looking something like that. The gems, Auto Health Potion for more sustain in the early game, healing towers for sustain, and mana regen, which is more important than you would think. Damage reduction to make yourself more tanky. Yes, Mana Reactor is fantastic, but you just need tank. Honestly, your tankiness, your ability to stick in the fight and harass and just support your team is very important. Damage return, so that people wanting to take you out of the fight are hurt in return, and Reflects to Purify, so you can get out of sticky situations and Onslaught we've already talked about. There is my hero deck and guide for Riktor as a support hero. I just thought I would do it because he's pretty darn awesome in almost any lane, solo lane, in the jungle, or in as a support. He's really strong. Hope you guys enjoyed. Patreon allows creators to offer their fans a way of supporting them and what they do. With flexible and painless payment options, anyone can support their creator for as little as $1 a month. If you would like to help me do what I love, check out the link in the video description to learn more. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, share it with the community, of course. Guys, subscribe. If you guys like this content, especially if you found it useful, please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Till next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.